But I got to give CJ credit because he sees the vision, and the vision is Cavs in 7. Cavs in 7.
Tweet that, Luke. Tweet it, Luke. Cavs in 7 now. Let's go. I shouldn't be shouting that, Luke. Don't tweet it. Don't. Let's wait a little bit.
How about who put a question mark in the teleprompter, like Cavs in 7? Could it happen? Do the Celtics just really stink in game 2s? Yes. Are they absolutely average at home in the playoffs? Wow. Yes. They're 14-14 over the last 3 years at home in the playoffs as the Cavs get a game in Boston last night, 118-94. I got home from a run yesterday evening, and I went to turn this game on, and I got distracted for a itty-bitty second because my TV was on E still from the Met Gala on Monday. We've been dog sitting, so we hadn't turned on our living room television until yesterday evening. It was on E. 27 Dresses was on, the 2008 masterpiece starring Katherine Heigl. Anyway, it went to commercial, so I finally was able to pull myself away from 27 Dresses, turn it over to the second half of Cavs Celtics, and when I turned it over, the Cavs were up 7, and I was like, oh, that's intriguing. And then within the course of the next 6 or 7 minutes, I saw Darius Garland hit a big 3. Donovan Mitchell hit another big 3, because of course he did. I saw Karis LeVert doing a tough and one. Saw an Evan Mobley dunk. And I was like, by God, the team showed up to help Donovan Mitchell. It also helped that the Celtics missed every single 3 that they took in that third quarter. I think it went Horford missed 3, Garland made 3, Derek White missed 3, Donovan Mitchell made 3. They were 0 of 8 overall in that quarter, and it was just a tough quarter for the Celtics, a tough shooting night for the Celtics in general. I don't know, maybe Derek White started growing a little bit of hair back. Like maybe he needs to keep that bald head slick so that there is no question on if he is bald-headed Derek White or 10 points in a game 2 at home in Boston Derek White.
But like, he's Derek.
He's
Derek White.
Thank you.
He's supposed
Derek
to do.
White.
That's what he's supposed to do.
My timeline was like, oh, wait for Derek White, not Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum when Derek White doesn't show up. And I'm like, it's
Derek White.
It's Derek White.
Like, they shouldn't be dependent on big Derek White games.
Maybe like Drew Holiday gets more than 4 points. I don't know.
They shouldn't be dependent on that either. Maybe
Tatum and Brown combined for 44. I don't know what it is with the Celtics team. It is why, despite them winning 64 games in the regular season and definitively being a good team, it is just very difficult for me to get enough chutzpah behind me to say, yes, I believe the Celtics are going to win it all this season. They just don't have, they lack a killer instinct. And when you say that, it feels very derogatory. But they just, when they get into the postseason, it's why we saw them 2 years ago let the rope go against the Golden State Warriors and not win a championship. It's why they got upset by the Miami Heat last night. The Heat, or not last night, last season, who were an 8 seed. It's why they I'll say it. They let the Heat win game 2 in the first round because they didn't respect those guys enough to put pedal to the metal, full throttle on the gas, and just say, finish them. Like, it's like they don't have the ability to sweep another team in their nature. That does not mean they are a bad team. That does not mean that they are incapable of winning it all this year. But I do think that the Cavs winning game 2 does feel different than the Heat because the Heat needed a historically great 3-point shooting game from guys who don't normally make those shots. For the Cavs last night, like that's a repeatable performance if they are able to all come together again and rally around the likes of Donovan Mitchell.
The reason why, even though they have the best record, to your point, and I agree with you, I'm not feeling the same sense of, not necessarily dread, but dread, right? About the Celtics as I do a team like the Timberwolves or the Nuggets is. Those teams have that killer instinct that you talk about. The Timberwolves are playing Denver. Only one of those will advance, obviously. But the Timberwolves, after winning game 1, didn't rest. Wasn't like, oh, we did our job. Now it's time to go home and hold court. And if we just hold court, we'll be good to go. Protect home court, we'll be fine. No, they say, we want 2. Right. And they went out there and dominated in game 2 in a way that I keep waiting to see this Celtics team do. Where it's like, okay, we're better. We're going to show them that we're better. Okay, we get 1. We're going to try and get the second, the third, and the fourth. And they it just didn't feel like they were trying to do that last night. Also, on the topic of the supporting cast around Donovan Mitchell, I asked, semi-jokingly, but kind of serious also, who's got the advantage out there for the Cavs offensively other than Donovan Mitchell? who else can go out there and step up. And I think timely shots by Darius Garland really helped them out. And then you get what Karis LeVert was able to do coming off the bench. That's huge. If they can do that, and like you said, that's replicable. That's things that they've done this season. I don't think Garland went for 20, 25 points. I think it was just 16 or 17, something like that.
Last night?
Yeah.
14.
14. But if you can, it's as much about when you make the shots as how many of them you can make. If you can make shots to stave off runs, stop runs, start runs, that is important. And I think last night the Cavs did that really, really well.
Yeah, and I thought Max Strus played really good defense on Jason Tatum. Like, kept him from getting in any kind of a rhythm.
He gets up under him.
Yes, and we were talking about Max Strus earlier this week just in terms of, like, three-point specialists who are just that, don't do a whole lot more. And I was kind of like, oh, well, we know Max Strus couldn't stay on the court in Miami because of his defense. And I was like, damn, that was impressive last night, Max Strus. I'm sorry for doubting the Strusel. That's a horrible nickname. Just kidding. I have my deepest apologies.
The Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hart, live every weekday at 8 a.m.